Hey guys, David from Costa Card Game Shop. Back at you with another video. So today, this video is a little bit different. You will not be seeing any cards from me. You will not be seeing any tutorials or pack openings or anything like that. Crazy, right? Well, you won't be seeing cards from me, but the reason I made this video is because recently, I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram, I may or may have not have put it on Facebook, but I did get some surprise content emailed to me by True Records and the creator of my logo, Rilo. And I know y'all have heard me talk about him quite a bit. But I suppose you don't know much about him other than he's the creator of our logo. He's the reason we exist. And you probably have not heard of True Records because it is not much of a Corpus Christi brand. For those of you who follow me from Corpus Christi, those from Falfurrias, my hometown, definitely know who True Records is. They are a brand who, has their group of amazing creators, Rilo, DIG, which is one of my personal friends, Darren, of course, Chach, who is very talented, always has the sickest beats, and this video was put together by everybody at True Records, Rilo in particular, and of course Chach is, behind that amazing music that you always hear, because when you hear a fire beat, it is Chach with the heat. And so I saw before everybody else, because I had to take a little peek, because you get something like that and you're going to want to take a peek at it. It's amazing, it's impressive. I'm blown away by it again, because they just continue to blow me away. But I suppose it doesn't have much of a background behind it, because if you see the video, you'll be pumped, you'll be excited, you'll be like, yeah, this is amazing, I love it. But you don't know, I guess, everything behind it. So it is my first playmat I ever created, my first card sleeves ever created, my first custom deck ever made, as Coastal Card Game Shop as a whole. The first time I ever put it together, the first time I ever truly was able to do my thing. And it's intimidating, it's interesting for everybody to see. I'm excited. But there's not enough background behind it, I think. I know y'all had heard me talk about it a little bit in, if you've seen my interviews with El Loco, if you heard anybody who's ever interviewed me or talked about me or asked me questions. But I think there's more behind it. So Coastal Card Game Shop was definitely an idea way before it was even Coastal Card Game Shop. I think when I was living up in San Angelo, it started with just a bunch of packs that I had just bought at a Walmart, because I was like, oh look, there's Yu-Gi-Oh! I haven't played in a while. So I bought them, I took them home, I opened them up, and I got some cool cards from it. I pulled quite a bit of them, a lot of them that, were impressive, that I loved, the first packs that I pulled before Coastal Card Game Shop, well, even before Coastal Card Game Shop, was the Legendary Duelist Magical Heroes, which was, Dark Magician based, which if any of y'all know me, I love Dark Magician. It's one of my favorite cards in, the TCG Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. So that's the reason I bought that pack. And so I opened it, and a lot of the cards were in there. It brought back a lot of memories. It helped the deck that I do have today that, I haven't played much, because I took it back to the drawing board because it wasn't, sufficient, and it still needs work. It's not done. So one of the cards that was in it was this one, and I don't know if you can see it with the camera, the Magician's Soul. And I just pulled it, and I didn't know much about it, so I looked up where to find information about it. So I went to TCG, and at Pool it was a $150 card. And so if anything, it showed me that this is something that holds value, this is something that was interesting to me. And so I guess overnight I made a TCG seller's account, and so it wasn't even under Coastal Card Game Shop, because I was living in San Angelo, so the name wouldn't have even popped into mind. being in that it's by mountains and nowhere near the coast. So I opened it under a name of Two Tone Blue Shop or something like that. I don't know why that name came to mind, but that was the name that was originally chosen for Coastal Card Game Shop. I wouldn't imagine that a shop would be successful with that name. It kind of just came off the top of my head because I like two different colors, shades of blue. So that was the inspiration behind that. Not much thought, right? So that was how that came to be. And so I guess it continued, and I just left it, and I guess it wasn't really much I put thought into. It wasn't really anything that I did. And then later on, I did finally, get the job offer to come to Corpus Christi. I wanted to be closer to family. It felt like the right move. It seemed like the right move, and up to date, it is the right move. To work, for Waterware as a manager. I'm no longer with the company, but that's how I got here. And so the offer came in. I took it. It was good money. And then so I guess come October, before the move, I knew I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. Around that was the time that it kind of was something that I had contemplated and stuff like that. So when we made the move in June of 2020, it was kind of a weird turn of events how I got here and such. But the move came. We moved in a hurricane, so that was interesting. Moved here, looked at apartments, finally found the correct apartment for where I wanted to be. Made the move in a hurricane because Corpus Christi weather, right? My DBA and my sales and tax were already in hand by October. So Coastal Card Game Shop very much did exist in October. The name probably probably became a thing around September, August-ish. I don't even know how the name came to mind. It's just something that in a group chat I had always been like, oh, I think I'm going to do this. And then I kind of caught wind in the group chat with my friends. And, it was Coastal Card Game Shop, and I don't know how the name came to mind. It's just something that popped in my head and something that stuck. And it's something that I knew immediately that I wanted it to be named. And I know I got a lot of advice from people, and people had asked if Coastal Card Game Shop was the name, as it was kind of hard to pronounce for the demographic that I was going for. Which generally, if you're in a card game, if it's toys or anything like that, generally your demographic is children. And Coastal Card Game Shop may be hard to say for children when you become a storefront to let their parents know that that's where they want to go. But I took it back to a drawing board. I thought of many names, so many different names just coming through mind. Off the top of my head, no. And so I just continued and stuck with Coastal Card Game Shop, and that's what the name was. The DBA was filed, the sales and tax was finalized. And so Coastal Card Game Shop was born in October. It wasn't launched till December. And I think the thing that I struggled with the most was, I guess one, publicizing it, one image, one logo, because there were logos of Coastal Card Game Shop before Coastal Card Game Shop's logo was around, made by me, and they were pretty terrible. They weren't very good. I liked them and I didn't like them. They were kind of weird. They looked nothing similar to how Coastal Card Game Shop's logo looks today. Totally night and day. If you saw it, you'd be like, that doesn't look like anything what you use today. But it was my creative ability, and I'm not very creative. But that's neither here nor there. And it didn't launch till December, and the reason that being is I just kind of had a name, a DBA, and a sales and tax, but I never had anything. I had the inventory that was already on Shopify completed, which was maybe about 100 cards. And to go back to the day when everything was already cataloged and I had nothing more to upload would be the day to enjoy, because I can no longer say that because I have so many cards that are not cataloged, and I kind of drag my feet about it. But it is what it is. It's part of what I do. And so I guess it happened on a post that, believe it or not, Rilo actually put. He put, want to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Um, does anybody sell or trade cards? And my best friend for multiple years, my childhood best friend, being the person that always pushes me, kind of to the wind, and probably the reason why I can, thank for most of the reasons while I'm here, because he's always been that person to kind of push me into the wind, kind of be like, just get out there, kind of thing. He tagged me in a post and been like, David does, and so, it was kind of, that was that. Rilo messaged me and said, oh, like, what do you got? Or like, we conversated, and I said, well, I want to make cards. I want to build a deck. I want to do this for people. I kind of want it to be more of personal, and I made the spew of what I wanted Coastal Card Game Shop to be, and kind of let it all out, as all creatives probably do for the first time when they first get a listening ear. It's like, oh, here's all this information, and throw it at somebody. And so, he was like, oh, shoot, that sounds cool. I was like, yeah, but I don't have an image or a logo about it. And he said, let me help you out. And I said, you know what, let's figure it out. If you allow me to use, because at first I wanted Coastal Card Game Shop to be a collaboration between a lot of my friends, between my best friend Noe, who does Notorious streams and has his own stream. I wanted it to be a collaboration between them. And then when Rilo reached out, I knew I wanted it to be a collaboration with True Records. And my idea was kind of to get other people's logos and make it into that and sell it and kind of branch out into that and collaborate with a bunch of different people. And so I never got a logo from Notorious Streams, but maybe that's something we can kind of talk him into one day and kind of launch our line of stuff. Hint, hint. If Noe's listening, maybe we can kind of work on that. But Rilo was pretty open to it. He gave me True Records logos. He mailed them to me immediately, and I went to work. And I knew Coastal Card Game Shop wanted to be more than cards. I wanted it to be a whole brand. I wanted it to be a whole gaming brand in general. Playmats. I wanted it to be card sleeves. I wanted it to be fully customizable, and I knew that's what I wanted it to be from the very beginning. And all this kind of just came to mind overnight, and I don't know how it happened or even what came to be. And so the collaboration was done. He kind of just said, I said, what do you want to do? And he said, not blue eyes, because his girlfriend has blue eyes and he wants something a little different. So we kind of bounced ideas off. And that's when the idea of the Red Eyes Black Dragon came to mind. I asked him if that's what he would do. He said, yeah, do your thing. And so I went to work. And so the Red Eyes Black Dragon was truly the first deck I ever made to date. Not knowing what I was doing, just kind of gone into the wind and kind of got lost into my research, which is how most decks that I make for people happen. Kind of get lost and pour myself into it for multiple hours, and then out comes the final product. And so it was done. And then the rest of the part was kind of more difficult. Finding card sleeves, finding multiple people who made card sleeves, finding the person who made them. I think I ordered from 2 different people, kind of a race to see who got here first, as to be prepared for people who ordered card sleeves. And we found the person who did it. The way True Records sleeves are, still the same person that I use today for the Coastal Card Game Shop logo, the CC, which is again another inspiration where Coastal Card Game Shop's name came from. Moved to Corpus Christi. Coastal Card Game Shop, abbreviated, is CC if you just use Coastal Cards. Same as Corpus Christi. So it's cheesy, but I thought people would enjoy it because kind of that's Corpus's thing, as they love Corpus things. So Coastal Card Game Shop fit into that as well. And so the person that makes these sleeves are still the person who makes the original first sleeves. And so the playmats are still the same person who does the playmats. None of that has changed. We use the same people we used for Rilo's stuff. So when you see it, you'll know that the same exact playmats Rilo has in the promotional video are the same exact ones I use today, and the same sleeves I use today. So that's pretty neat. And so the collaboration was done. He let me do my thing. He is the first person to be able to say he owns the very first merchandise ever made by Coastal Card Game Shop, the first custom deck, the first card sleeves, and the first playmat that I ever made, the first person who ever allowed me to truly be like, you know what, here is here's the opportunity, do what you do. So it was very much a, here's your test, you said you wanted to do this, it's time to put up, or that's it. And you know, Coastal Card Game Shop very much did come together with a lot of pushing and shoving. And I guess me being me, I would have dragged my feet until maybe Coastal Card Game Shop still wouldn't have, you know, been launched to date. And we have sold 5 different custom decks. Another one is being made, and there is one in the works. Hopefully, cards are still being bought. I still have the same exact people who I made decks for reaching out and wanting more cards. So Coastal Card Game Shop has made sales. We went to our first good. They offered me the first opportunity to do a pop-up. I was going to do another one. Unfortunately, weather didn't allow it. And, you know, I hope to continue for people in Corpus Christi to allow me to do these things, continue to do pop-ups. I'm getting a few interests for collaborations. There's more stuff in the works with different people. There's more stuff coming out. Coastal Card Game Shop is very much looking for ideas, open to collaboration, doing their thing, because I want this to be more personal. I want to kind of collaborate with people. I want to do multiple things. I don't want to be just cards, and I don't want to be just this. And I think I realized that when my TCG seller account was put up, and I didn't want to sit back and wait. I wanted very much to control it and be in my own hands, and I wanted to be a business. So I think I knew Coastal Card Game Shop was not going to be just cards. And for the most part, if I have anything to do with it, it will not be just cards, not just Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's games. I want it to be games in general. I want to be the bridge, the gap. I want to be something not average, as I always say. I don't want to be your average card shop. I want to be different. So when you watch this video and you see the amazing video and you see the creativity behind everything, you get to see True Records, you get to see Rilo doing his thing, being creative, seeing his talents, as I continue to brag about and will not stop bragging about what he does, because for the most part you've seen my logos and they're amazing, and they look great, and I'm in love with them. And so you will get to see the creativity that behind the Coastal Card Game Shop logo. You'll get to hear Chach with the Heat, you know, bring out one of his beats, because you know he's just as talented. True Records from my hometown has a lot of talent, so hopefully you hear more about them to come. I hope to collaborate with them more. I hope to collaborate with a lot of people. And so it is definitely nerve-wracking, exciting, and all these other emotions in one when you're going to watch this video. And I hope you enjoy it and you truly see, you know, the creativity from Rilo, the talent from Chach with the Heat. And of course, you'll get to see my first work ever, which no one else other than Rilo and probably everybody at True Records has seen. So it'll be kind of interesting to see and exciting. So thank you for allowing me to talk about it, for allowing me to rant for multiple minutes and giving you a background story behind the promo. You're going to see it's very exciting. It's amazing. I love it. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I love it. I love everything about it. And so thank you guys for continuing to support me, for supporting me this far. And I hope you enjoy this promotional video and all the work that's gone into Coastal Card Game Shop up until this point, from launch to date. Everyone who has helped me get to this point, thank you again for all the pushing, the arguing, the hard-headedness, and just allowing me to finally get to this point. Thank you all, and again, everybody who has supported me from launch to now. Thank you. All the collaborations that are in the works and all the projects that I'm currently working on and going to work on in the future. Thank you again. And for me at Coastal Card Game Shop, thank you for allowing me to do what I do and allowing me to again show you why Coastal Card Game Shop is and will never be average. So enjoy the promotional video, and I hope Hope we get to work with y'all in the future. Thank you.